I've wasted so much time in 26 years, every time I pass a mirror, just being like, I hate my face, I have a big round head, my shoulders are too broad, my tits come down to my belly button. And so finally one day I was like, I can continue to pass every single mirror or window that I see, check my reflection obsessively and talk shit about myself, or I can look at myself and say, this is how I am. Even if I don't love my body, I can accept it. No flower in a field that's crooked is not perfect. No like bird with a broken wing is not perfect. Like, I don't shit talk nature, so I can no longer shit talk myself. And I had felt so weak at the time, not standing up for myself to myself. So perfect pussy kind of felt like everything I felt at that moment. I walked into flashback and I saw this and I lost my mind. It's dead stock, like late 60s, early 70s. It's a company called Starshine Screens, and it was hand screen printed. And my ex-fiance, who I actually wrote our whole record about, is from Japan, and so I bought a Japanese temple ring. On our first tour, we played at the 7th Street Warehouse in Los Angeles. After we played, this young, like, skinhead boy came up to me and said, I found this on the ground during your set and I want you to have it, and he put it on my hand. I have a very dear friend named Sam. I used to sell vintage clothing on Etsy, and I took all of the proceeds I made in 3 months and I gave them to her to put her through school to become a birth doula to incarcerated women in juvenile prison and prison. And to thank me, she bought me this coat. And the day she gave it to me, we went out on a date, we went to like a cafe, and I was wearing this coat, and this is the collar from the coat, and I turned around and I was face to face with Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth, and that's my favorite band from childhood. So this is my Thurston Moore collar. I had a boyfriend for a long time and I helped him with his record label. Even though I hate that boyfriend because he's a complete monster, I still wear this pin because I love that band so much. I have a very good friend who sings in an incredible band called Green Dreams. I made her wedding dress, and because of perfect pussy, she had this ring made for me, this first knuckle ring that says good, and then on the inside it says cunt. When I was in college, the first tattoo I got, I was 18 years old. And I went to a tattoo shop in the town where I ended up living. And I ended up working at the counter of the shop, on and off for like 4 years, meeting amazing people that were coming through our town to do tattoo work. And so over the years, working there and hanging out there every day of my life, I let every person tattoo me. So I have 30-something tattoos. I'm really obsessed with Joan of Arc. It's not colored in yet, but we talked about tarot card designs, and this is actually Joan of Arc being embraced by death. My patron saint is a teenage girl crossdresser who led an army of men into battle in the name of like what she thought was good. So I love Joan of Arc. This is chamomile flowers to remind me to chill out. So when I first moved to Syracuse, I fell in love with this guy. We started a band, but our relationship was awful, like really profoundly unhealthy. I had been scared to leave him for a long time because I was afraid that I would never be in a band again. He would tell me over and over again, like, you wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for me. Finally, after almost 3 years, I called it off, and I waited. And I sat with my feelings for a while, and I said to myself, this is hard. Did I make a mistake? I couldn't have stayed if I wanted to because I was going crazy. What that led to was me learning how to look at myself less critically, learning how to rely on myself more and take much better care of myself. We played the NPR party. I was convinced it was going to be the worst show ever. We're a hardcore band and we were opening for St. Vincent and Police. I black out during our sets and I walked out onto the monitor and just looked at everyone. And all of a sudden I had this overwhelming feeling of like, I saw myself 2.5 years ago and I felt this incredible compassion. And for a minute I was there with all that sadness that I had experienced with these 3,000 people. I'm not sure in 26 years I've ever been happy, and for the last few months of my life, I am. I really am.